While adding more and more gas, bring the clutch up too fast, because you see, our brake and clutch together. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about how to drive a manual car. And because this is the manual car, I'm going to be saying the word clutch a lot. Let me know in the comments below how many times I actually say clutch in this video, and I'm going to choose one person from the correct answers, and that person is going to win a special prize. Let's get into it. This is why you don't start the car in first gear. So you see, the car moves straight away when I bring my clutch up because I'm in gear. But if I'm in neutral and I start the car, when I bring my clutch up, the car doesn't move because it's in neutral. Once you started the car, the next thing is to actually try to move off. And first gear is the best gear to move off in. So you want to always make sure that you're selecting first when you're moving off. If you try to move off in second gear or third gear on a flat surface like this, let me show you what happens. So when I try to bring the clutch up, you see the car stalls straight away. It's not the best gear to move off in. First gear is a lot more powerful. Let me show you why. To move off smoothly, you want to bring the clutch just to the biting point and then keep your foot there for a few seconds as the car's moving. With the handbrake on, I can bring my clutch up to the biting point, and I know I've got the biting point because I can see the car dip forward. It's trying to move forward now, but the handbrake is holding it. And if I bring up too high, you see the car will still move even though the handbrake is on. I get people asking, but the handbrake is on, why is the car still moving? And that's because the clutch is a lot more powerful than the handbrake. This is a little trick that you can practice to help you really master the biting point. So go somewhere quiet like here, and then just get into first gear, and then lift your clutch up like this, and then stop it there. And then down again, and then back to the biting point, and then down again. This way you can train your leg to get just at the right point, because if it's too high, the car will start moving. If it's too low, when you put your handbrake down, the car's not gonna move. So you want it just at the point when it's trying to move, like there, but it's not actually moving because the handbrake is holding it. So once you know where the biting point is, the next step now is to actually move off. So you want to make sure once you've got the biting point, you do your checks and then release the handbrake. This is the point now where you don't bring the clutch up too fast, because you see the car will either stall or it's going to go too fast forward. So there, instead of bringing the clutch up like that, what you do is you hold it still once the car starts moving for like 3 seconds. Let me show you. I'll get my biting point, I'll do my checks, and then handbrake down, and then 1, 2, 3, and as I bring my clutch up, that way it's not going to stall, it's really smooth. That's how you move off. When I showed you moving off a second ago, I showed you just using the clutch, which can be done in a lot of cars, but some cars you need the gas as well. And in general, I teach people to use the gas when you're moving off, because that works for any car, and it's also going to help you to move off faster, which I'll show you later on as well. So I'll get my biting point like before, and then I'm going to add a bit of gas. So around just above 1000 is enough, and you can hear the engine noise as well. If you can't hear the engine noise, you probably haven't got enough gas. Like there, I've got enough gas, got my biting point on, do my checks, handbrake down, and I'm still going to keep my clutch smooth, counting to 3 as I bring up the clutch. Just because I've got the gas on doesn't mean I need to bring the clutch up really fast. I still want to do it nice and slowly. Once you've moved off, the next thing to know is when to change gears. And this is done by looking at the RPMs, but also listening to the engine. A good indicator would be when you go above 2000 RPMs. So right now my car's going above 2000 RPMs, then I can change gears. And when you're changing gears, you want to make sure that you come off the gas fully, clutch down, and then into second like that, and then clutch up smoothly, and then back on the gas again. If you like this kind of videos, make sure you're joining our community where you can get early access, personalized videos, and shout outs. So this is what happens if you change when you're going too slowly. So right now the RPMs are around just above 1000. I'm doing less than 10 miles per hour. And if I go into second now and bring the clutch up, the car's shaking, it's vibrating quite a bit. And this is not a good speed for this gear. You can tell because the RPMs are below 1000. Another mistake you want to avoid is gearing up with your gas still on. So right now I've got my gas on. If I want to go for the second gear now, I should come off the gas. But if I do that now, you see the RPM's gotten really high. And if you keep doing that, that's going to damage your clutch. So because this is a faster road, I'm in second right now, I can go straight from second to 4th. You don't have to go from 1, 2, 3 and then 4. You can skip gears, especially on these kind of roads. So I've showed you how to gear up. Now when it comes to gearing down, this is a bit harder to decide when to do this, but if you use the RPMs again, it can be easy. So when you start braking, if the RPMs go to 1000 or lower, you should be thinking about going into the lower gear. And so if I'm braking now and I've go below 1000, my car is shaking a lot because it's struggling in this gear right now, but because I know I'm going to move on again, I can keep it in second and then drive on, and then it goes above 1000 again, and then it becomes smooth. But if I knew I was coming to a stop or going even slower, I would need to change into a lower gear. Let's say here I'm slowing down a lot, and then I can feel the car shaking. I'll put my clutch down and go into first and then go slowly. Now the car is moving smooth again because this gear is good for this speed. And I can skip gears on the way down as well. So if I'm braking right now, I can see the lights are red up there. I'm in fourth right now. I can either decide to go into second or first, depending on what's happening with the traffic. So if the traffic is not moving, I'm going to go into first. So I'm going to keep braking for a bit, and you see the RPMs are going quite low, so I can put my clutch down now, and then I can go into first. And then that way, if the traffic starts moving, I can move on again straight away. I don't have to go from 4, 3, 2, 1. I can skip all the gears and go straight from 4th to 1, depending on what's happening. Now you want to know how to stop. So if I start braking now, if I don't press my clutch down, you see the car stalls because I didn't use my clutch. When you're stopping, you have to use the clutch as well, but you have to use the clutch at the right time. Just like I showed you earlier when to change into a lower gear, when the RPMs go to around 1,000, that's the time to put your clutch down. That way your car's not going to stall. And you can stop in any gear that you like. So I'm going to stop just by that speed bump over there so I can show you. So if I start braking now, see the RPMs are dropping and now the car's shaking. I can put my clutch down and then come to a nice smooth stop. If you're trying to stop smoothly, you want to avoid braking really hard at the end. So like right now I'm braking gently, got my clutch down, and then what you see learners do is they'll brake now like even harder. That's going to make the stop too harsh. To make it smoother, I should have come off the brake just before I came to a stop. Let me show you what I mean. So like now I'm coming up to that junction over there. I want to stop there because I can't really see properly. So I'll start braking early, which is a key point. You want to start braking early, and then the RPMs are dropping too low, clutch down. And then just before coming to a full stop, I'll ease off the brake a tiny bit and then back on again. And before I move off, what gear do we use to move off again in? We use first gear. You don't need to press the clutch every time that you're using the brake. So like right here, I'm just slowing down for this bus to move out the way. I'm just using my brake a little bit, and then now he's gone. Check this guy to make sure he's not crossing, and then I can carry on. That whole time there, I was just slowing down. I didn't need to use the clutch because I wasn't stopping. Use the clutch when you're stopping or changing gears or when you're moving off. But if you're just slowing down a little bit for like a speed bump or for someone to get out of the way, you can do that without pressing the clutch. And when I'm slowing down, sometimes I don't even have to press the brake. Sometimes just coming off the gas is enough to slow the car down. Earlier, I showed you how to move off on a flat surface, and that was quite easy. Here, we're on a really steep hill. How steep is it? Look, as soon as I put my handbrake down, the car starts moving back straight away. And the key for hill starts is just making sure that you've got your biting point first, and then take your time with the clutch. It's nice and easy. If I don't have my biting point first, this is what happens. So I put my handbrake down, and then I try to move, see the car rolls back. Now, to make this better, what you need to do is make sure you've got your biting point first. So with the handbrake on, add a bit of gas as well, and then handbrake down and keep the clutch still as you're moving off. Don't bring the clutch up too high once you start moving. So this is the wrong way. Biting point, and then people do this. You get a wheel spin, or the car will go too fast, or you might even stall. And you've seen that I've started off in first gear. You don't want to be starting in second gear on a hill. It's going to be too much for the car. You see, even if I do it properly, it's too much work for the car in second gear, and it's going to stall. When you're moving downhill, especially if it's really steep, then you can use second gear, because when you're going downhill, the car's going to move anyway, because when you come off the brake, the gravity is going to pull you down. So you can use second gear in that case. And sometimes it's better to use second gear, because if you use first, once you start moving already, you're going to be already in second gear speed. So right now I'm in second. I'll do my checks, and then I allow the car to move a little bit first, and then bring the clutch up smoothly still, and then add some gas in the background, and it's nice and smooth. This wouldn't work uphill, but downhill it works really well. So I was showing you earlier how to move off smoothly, just like this. But if you want to move off fast, you want to use a bit more gas and be a bit quicker with the clutch. Not really quick that you come off straight away, but you want to still do it smoothly, but quicker. Let me show you what I mean. So if I'm trying to move off fast, which I'll show you in a second, we're going to join a dual carriageway shortly, and I want to do that fast. This is how you're going to do it. So let's say I'm trying to move off quickly. I'm not going to use any gas. If I do that, yeah, and then use the gas, you see there's a time when the car slowed down a bit first, and then I picked up speed once I put the gas on. That's way too slow. Instead of doing it that way, I'm going to use the gas and the clutch together to move off really fast. Let me show you. So I'll do my checks. So add some gas, and then clutch up smoothly while adding more and more gas, and then I can change into second. And you see there how late I changed the gear. Before I was telling you to change gear around 2000 RPMs, but there I went way higher than that. That allowed me to pick up speed a lot faster. So now we're joining the dual carriageway, and I'm definitely going to be in first gear for this. And I do want to build up my speed quite quickly once I join it. So this is the hill as well. So I'm biting point first, and then add some gas and bring the clutch up smoothly, and then change gears. And then gearing down for the approach to this roundabout. I'm in third, I'm gonna approach it in second, and then if it's clear, I'll keep moving, but if it's not, I'll go into first. It's not clear, so I'll go into first gear. And then once I can see a nice gap, I'll make my move. So like that, add a bit of gas, clutch to the biting point, lots of gas, into second, lots more gas again, into third. So you notice on the higher speed roads, I'm gearing up a lot later because if I do it too soon, the car is gonna struggle. So I'm in fourth right now, and I wanna make a sharp turn off the dual carriageway into a side road. And to do this, I can't do that in fourth, I'll need to gear down before the turn. Let me show you how to do it. So once I know my turn's coming up, I can signal, then I'll brake gently, go into second before the turn, bring the clutch up before the turn, and now off the brake. So you saw that I was braking nice and early, and then I geared down before the turn, and then I came off the clutch before the turn as well. So that way my gear was engaged for the turn. So if I'm in second and I can't really see properly, I can't see any cars from the left or the right because it's blocked off. So to do that, I'll need to get into first gear. So once I get to around here, I'll get into first gear and creep up to the giveaway line, and then I'll stop. So this is a very steep hill right now. See, if I come off the brake, the car rolls back. So I'm gonna show you how to do a hill start on a junction. So I'll get my biting point first with the brake on, and then add a bit of gas, and then smoothly bring the clutch up. Reversing is a big part of driving, and especially if you're doing a driving test, you can't pass the driving test unless you can reverse properly. The mistake that lots of people make is when they're reversing, they go way too fast. So let's say I get into reverse now. I'll do my checks, and then I'm trying to reverse, and they'll bring the clutch up like this, and you see the car's moving way too quick. You can't park like this, it's gonna be too dangerous. So now, to control the speed in reverse, you wanna use a lot of clutch control. So instead of bringing the clutch all the way up, I'm gonna bring it just around the biting point, then hold it still, and then even bring it down a tiny bit. So I'm playing around the biting point. I'm not bringing it too high, I'm just playing around the biting point. If I feel the car going too fast, straight up, I put my clutch down, and then I'll carry on playing around the biting point. This is how you control your speed. When you're slowing down, when you're reversing as well, you don't want to go for the brake straight away when your clutch is up, because this is now making the car fight itself. You're telling the car to go and stop at the same time. Instead of doing it that way, when you're trying to slow down, make sure you first bring the clutch down and then brake. Yeah, so if I'm trying to go slowly, clutch down, and then if I'm still going too fast, then I'll use my brake. Now, if you're stopping in an emergency, you want to use the clutch and the brake together. Let me show you. So let's say something's happened right here. I'll brake and clutch together, and then put my handbrake on. I'm going to neutral or going to first if I'm trying to move on again. On a test, you go into neutral, and then you can just relax, and then the examiner will tell you to drive on again. But what you don't want to do when you're stopping in an emergency is put your clutch down first and then brake, because that way the car travels for a little bit first, and if there was someone there, you would have hit them. So brake and clutch together really hard, and then that way the car stops quickly.